Good morning. Good morning. I'm just digging for my business card. I don't know where I put it. I'll be right back. Hey, Mom, I'll be right back. You know what? I don't need it. I was going to go dig out my business card, but, whatever. Hey, Kelly. So, I'm going to read you today's reading, and then we're going to talk about a situation that came up in my life this morning, because every day we talk about A Course in Miracles. Good morning, good morning. And then we talk about how to put it into action. So, because all these, reading the Bible and reading the Quran or the Torah or whatever holy scripture that you read, if you don't then take that out into the world, it's not really doing you any good. So, A Course in Miracles is a difficult text. I think actually reading the Bible is easier, and that's saying something. But, so we're plowing our way through Course in Miracles, and then I'm letting you know how to apply it in daily life so that you can actually use it and benefit from it. Good morning, Gianna. Thank you for your help this morning. Hey, Tanya. So, the reading for today is super short. It's lesson 264 from the Course in Miracles workbook. I probably will take that route. Jana. So for September 21st, it is, hi Max. Yeah, good. Short readings are good on a Monday, especially after this morning. Hey Tanya. Help and hi friends. Do you need help? Is something going on? If you guys have something going on, bring it up. Hey Linda, and we'll work through it. We'll show you how to work through it. I am surrounded by the love of God. That's it. That's the reading for today. Hey, Linda, awesome reading for you last night. Really good reinforcement of where you're at. So when you pull up the workbook, it's actually not much longer. I am surrounded by the love of God. Father, you stand before me and behind me. This is really going to be relevant when I tell you how this morning went and how you can use these principles in hot button situations. So, yeah, Linda, so cool. Father, you stand before me and behind me, beside me, in the place I see myself and everywhere I go. Thank you for inviting followers. You are in all the things I look upon, the sounds I hear, and every hand that reaches for my own. In you, time disappears and place becomes a meaningless belief. For what surrounds your son meaning all of us, and keeps him safe is love itself. There is no source but this, and nothing is that does not share his holiness. Thank you for the shares in the hearts, guys. I really appreciate that. There is no source but this, and nothing is that does not share its holiness. Okay? So, all one creation, all one love, which holds all things within itself. Father, your Son is like itself. Like yourself. Father, your Son is like yourself. We are like each other. We are like God. It's all one thing. You can't separate us out except in our own head. We come to you in your own name today to be at peace within your everlasting love. My brothers, join with me in this today. Must we not join in what will save the world along with us? In common language, if we join in the peace in ourselves, then we join it with each other, and that's our only safety. That's our only source. I'm not a theologian. So, but in the Bible, when it says, have no other gods before me, I don't know that means to have no other God but the Christian God. I think it means to have no other God. There's only one. There's only source. Whatever name you put on it, whatever name you can handle to get your mind around the concept of there's only one source of love. There's love and fear. Love and fear, love and fear, that's it. So, there is but one source. So, in a way, there is but one God. But I believe you can call that God different names and still get where you're trying to go. Okay. So what happened this morning is an ongoing battle with my husband's company over health insurance. We lived in Colorado when we got married. We had a ceremony. We filed federal taxes. We have notarized forms that we're common law married, but we did not go to the state and get a piece of state issued paper that says we're married. So they're denying me health insurance coverage on his policy. And that's the fact, right? So we've talked about, there is but one God and we are it. Alan Watts, super good writer, Alan Watts. Whatever name you want to put on it. So how that plays out in daily life is the woman that I'm dealing with over this is the petty bureaucrat type that makes us all a little insane. So she's that woman at the DMV who drives you nuts. She's that one at the post office who measures and weighs every single piece of mail you bring in. Insurance companies. Oh, okay. So what better testing ground for putting this material into action than petty bureaucrats and insurance companies, right? Because they make us all banana crazy pants. So I told them that after doing research, we're legally married in Colorado. So if we go down to the county here and get legally married again, technically we're breaking the law because we're married in 2 states now. That's against the law. So there's one hitch. The other hitch is my husband has a personal thing about government issued stuff. Like if he could go without any government contact at all, which is ridiculous, right? He's not like militia anti-government, but it's a thing for him. And he doesn't have very many things. So I try not to, I don't want to get in the way of that. It's his thing. He has very few things that he digs his heels in about. So there's that. He's opting out. And that I knew that when we got married. And we agreed to go the common law route because it's legal in Colorado and all other states recognize it. But apparently insurance companies can give you the big finger and they don't have to. So is what we're finding out. So we're not going to break any law and get married in another state, and we're not going to start over. We've already been filing tax returns for years, so I don't, it's on principle, right? Yeah, and it's important to him. It's so important to him, and I don't really get it. I mean, it's his thing, and I don't want to buck him on that. So, but what that means is this woman can send me into a rage. Yeah, they can give us the big finger. Insurance companies really rule the world, right? It's not Congress. It's not our governments. It's the insurance companies. Car and health. So I send all this package of information to the woman like, okay, I've done 2 months worth of research. What you're asking us to do is technically illegal. It's possible. Pencil, we're going to check on that. We're going to check to see if the court can issue us something. Yeah, we will check. Yeah, they're rule crazy. They're nuts. Oh, yeah, big pharmaceuticals. Yes, in conjunction with insurance companies. So, yeah. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff that can be real hot button issues for a lot of people, not just me. So I send this whole package to the woman. I get an email back from her this morning, basically just cut and pasted from her last email. She's pretty much just repeating herself. She's not listening. She's not even doing basic customer service in that she could say, gosh, it really sucks and I'm sorry, but, it's our policy and we're sticking to it. So, F you. Right. Yeah. Because somebody's have Colorado send a big foam middle finger over to the carpet mill. Okay. So I got pissed, right? All profit motives, screw the customers to feed the shareholders. Right. Okay. So this is a big thing and it makes us angry. Not just me. But this morning when I got her knee-jerk response, like, that's our policy, I'm not listening to you, I don't have to listen to you, so when you get a valid, that's the button issue for me, she keeps calling our marriage invalid, and so she's like, when you get a valid marriage certificate, and I was like, you know what, fuck you. I was like, I hate you, I hate this company, I hate insurance companies, And so I'm laying in bed reading this, right? I was pissed for about 90 seconds because I'm used to doing this stuff now. But I was like, pew, through the roof. And then I was like, oh my God, I am laying in bed furious. I haven't even gotten out of bed yet. I haven't even had a drink of water. But I had to pick up my stupid phone. Yeah, the invalid thing it's triggering me. It really is triggering me. Like, how dare you? Like, that's my ego. Like, how dare you tell me if my marriage is valid or not? When it's easily proven valid, but even if it wasn't. Like, if he and I said, we're married to each other and that's that, it's still valid. But that legal paperwork thing. So anyway, so I spin it around, and this did not happen. Yeah, thanks for the canned message. Yeah, she's just, she's a hag living in her little hag world, and, she's intersected my world, which gives me the opportunity, again, to put this stuff into practice. So I had to calm myself down. It's a power trip. So because it's happening in my world, I have to then spin it around. I tell you this to you guys every day. If something's happening that's triggering you, the only way out of it is to spin it around and start asking questions. What's this about for me? This is a big thing that's been going on for several months. We've had numerous conversations about it. We actually went down to just say screw it and do the whole state certificate thing. And it just felt so wrong. And there were some paperwork glitches. And we were like, this isn't the right path for us. For whatever reason, it just feels so wrong. So we didn't do it. So what's this about for me? How do I use Course in Miracles concepts? That little hag of a woman is me too. Okay, if I'm source, she's source, you're source, I'm source, we're all parts of the same whole, we're all waves in the same ocean, then her little haggy self is also part of me, so I have to turn that around. Or I'm not being true, I have to forgive her. I have to forgive myself for thinking that she needs to be something different than she is. So she doesn't need forgiveness. She is who she is. And to make myself laugh, I'm calling her a little hag. But in my heart, she is who she is. She's clearly, this is her life, her existence, the way she chooses to move through the world. Right. So what needs forgiveness is my separating her from the whole. My anger over the situation it's appropriate and it's also inappropriate at the same time. So stay with me here for a second. Whoops. Oh, my daughter's calling. I have to call her right back here in a little bit. My anger at her is not at her. If I get calm, first I have to get calm, right? Okay, we've talked about this process. You have to take some deep breaths, which I did. I got up, I made coffee, put my makeup on, was killing time to process this before I got to you guys so I could explain it. Yeah, so the anger this morning upset my stomach. It didn't hurt her at all. And she is who she is. My wanting her to be different is the place where the Course in Miracles would call that sin. I'm sinning against myself and her and the whole by separating us. My anger separates me from her. Okay? So the little petty bureaucrats that cross our path, our anger and our pushing against them separates us both. It separates me from my connection to the source, that feeling of being connected. It separates her from me, which means we will never find a solution. If a solution is available, we will never find it if I'm attacking her or if I'm coming at her with that aggressive energy. Okay, so I have to ask myself, why are you so mad about this, Michelle? What is it about her that's causing you to hurt yourself? I'm hurting myself in those moments. So it's multi-layered. Part of it's my husband and I had this conversation before we got married, and I said, this is the big I told you so wife moment, right? I said, we're going to encounter problems down the road if we don't get that piece of paper. And he said, this is really, obviously summarizing a lot of conversations and possibly some arguments. Bottom line, it was important to him. It was important to me to go forward with the relationship, and I wasn't going to let that get in the way. Okay, so there's that. That pissed me off. It pissed me off because there's a part of me that can agree with her, that can get bound up. There's a little part of my brain who really wants things A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want it to be in order. I want it to be done right. Ooh, I don't like that part. Okay, that's not how I live my life usually, but there's a little OCD part that wants everything lined up. Okay, so that pisses me off. That pissed me off. So I can see myself in her amplified, of course. So that gives me an opportunity to work on that little OCD part of myself and re-educate it and keep educating it that that's not life. Life isn't A, B, C, D. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's rising and falling waves. It's tornadoes coming through. It's up and down and backwards merry-go-rounds. It's like crazy. Oh, it's an ouchie, right? So this morning I was like, first of all, I would do this anyway, but then it's like extra important. Yeah, it's the 3 fingers pointed back at me. So I point my finger at her and say, you're a little bitch bureaucrat. And the 3 fingers pointing back at me, if I put that into practice, yes, her A, B, and C. Yeah, I have that part too. That part of me is what caused arguments before we got married, because I wanted to check all the boxes and be correct and have it in order and accurate. So even though I got, knee-jerk pissed at her, I have that part too. So that enables me to find, a little bit of compassion. So what do we know about hardcore OCD and hardcore rigidity? Underneath it is fear. So a person who is so bound up by fear, right, the same marriage. So she's bound up by a lot of fear, okay? She doesn't know what to do with me. I'm in her face going, you know what, that rule's ridiculous. Yeah, it's easier just to think of Trump as an asshole. Right? It's a whole lot easier to just go, I hate you, and I'll just go find something else, and I'm not going to deal with you. But then I miss a huge opportunity, don't I? Like I miss a huge opportunity to practice what I preach, so to speak. I'm no preacher, but I have a huge opportunity here to walk my talk. And I kind of owe it to you guys because you're here every day and I'm telling you what to do. And I owe it to myself, and this is my daily practice anyway. I'm turning it around faster in the last few years than I used to, because now it's just an automatic habit to go, oh my God, I'm so angry. What is this about? What is the world information? What's the information the world is giving to me? Remember yesterday, or in the last few days, we've talked about how something that triggers you is just information. It's just the world showing you an area where you still hold judgment and darkness in yourself. It's just that red flag saying, hey, warning, you've got a chunk of dark right here. And I want to shine the light on those places. And I've asked for that. So, I bring this crap on myself. Because I say to God and the universe, show me where I'm still hard-hearted. Show me where I'm still stuck in judgment. Yeah, observing the material from a place of peace. So, I have to get to the peace in order to find a way that's going to work for all of us. And to find a way that's going to work for me, for my husband, to not get him in hot water at his company. I won't find that solution if I'm angry. I have to come to peace first. So I take my breaths, I do some deep breathing, I acknowledge that I have sinned against myself because I have just hurt myself through judging another. I've hurt myself through knee-jerk responding to the situation. I know better than to pick up my phone before I get out of bed. I know better. So I broke my own rule. So I'm pissed about that. So I breathe. I acknowledge all that spaghetti bowl of junky feelings. And then I say, what's this about? Show me what this is about. Show me how can I see this situation differently. I can see it as an opportunity. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. This text is wasted because it's not practical. I want it to be practical because there's a lot of good stuff in there. But it takes, I have to really rein myself in. I have to really hold myself accountable that her behavior and this whole situation is really for my own benefit. Yeah, my mind was pissed. My ego was like, screw you. Underneath it is the peace. It's like when you were out on the side of the road with the woods and the sun shining the light through the trees. Exactly. It's shadow stuff. And when you have the balls to say to the universe, I want to know where my shadow is, because it's in our blind spot, okay? We can't see it until we shine light, and then we can see the patterns that our shadow makes. Yeah, just like when I was talking to you guys from the forest and showing you the light patterns of light and dark. So I've chosen to shine a lot of light on myself so that I can see my shadow. And that's what it looks like. That's how it plays out in the daily world. When I say, oh, shine light on yourself so you can see your shadow. And you're like, oh, that sounds awesome. What the hell does that mean? How am I going to know what's my shadow? Well, you know because somebody gets in front of you and makes you mad. Hey, universe, show me my shit, right? It is ballsy. It takes some big lady balls and man balls and a lot of guts because it hurts, right? It hurts. This morning hurts. The situation hurts. It pisses me off in a number of different ways, and it hurts me. But that's all, like Pensive said, that's all in my mind. That's the story. Yes, I intended to see this. I wanted to be shown where my heart is still hard. And that's what it looks like. So when I say do your shadow work, shine a light on yourself so you can see where your shadow is, that's how it looks. It's a crappy boss. It's someone cutting you off in traffic. It's a roadblock that you smack up against and it stops you from going where you need to go. And part of the insurance thing is a belief that I have to have it. I don't. Right now, in this moment, I do not have to have health insurance. I don't have to beat that woman into the ground to get health insurance. First of all, there's other ways. And right now, in this moment today, I don't need health insurance today. There's time to figure this out. The tax penalty is cheaper than what it would cost me to go buy a private plan. So there's time. Very rarely is something so life and death that you have to beat up someone or yourself, literally or figuratively. It's lazy coworkers. No matter how right you think you are. Right. I wanted to see where I'm so hard. Oh, use that, yeah. But beware. Beware. You're hurting yourself more than them. Yes, when you take home coworkers in your head, when you rent space in your head to other people, you only hurt yourself. As you know from experience, they don't change their behavior until you get it. And then watch. Step back and watch your life and think about patterns. When you get it, when you are no longer hard in your heart toward them, it usually changes. Their behavior will change, or it just won't bother you anymore, and you'll know, I got it. Okay, check and done. I got it. You may encounter that exact same situation again, but you won't react to it the same way. You may still react to it. Yeah, you take positive action, and the only positive action you can take really is in here. Working with this, working with this, working with your heart and mind, and asking, how can I see this differently? What can I learn from this situation? What is the sea hag trying to show me about my shadow? I mean, do whatever it takes to make yourself laugh a little bit about it so that you can kind of emotionally, loosen up. Because when you're like this or like this, it's harder. The faster you can say, how can I see this differently? Even if you're still so angry, the faster the gears start to shift. The faster it starts to turn around. Pity the woman stuck in her ego, right? When I get to the place of compassion, yes, it's your box of shit. Oh my God. We talked about that on the shadow recording of the universe gives you a box and it's got a turd in it. And you're like, what do I do with this? Yeah, exactly, Linda. What do I do with this box of shit? Well, you look at it and you learn to love it. And I do feel compassion for that woman when I'm in a state of peace because she's a part of me that's confused. And we don't need to be crossways with each other. She is who she is. I cannot fight her to change that. I can't fight that company to change their policy. It actually is legal for them to do that. Feed the plants with it. Yeah, turn shit into love. Use it for fertilizer. Oh, that's perfect. My husband has a coworker who makes us both nuts. We'll watch the replay together. Yeah. If you can hold the crazy-making coworker in your mind and say, how is this a reflection of us? It's not always obvious immediately. It may take some digging. How do we do what she does? How do I do what she does in my own mind? So for the rigid little bureaucrat over in Dalton, where am I rigid and controlling in my mind still? Where do I punish myself with nitpicky crap that doesn't matter? Right? Owie. Ooh, that's a stinger. Where are you punishing yourselves in your head with stuff that doesn't matter? That's the bottom line. I was trying to ask a couple of nights ago, but it was so hard. My ego doesn't want to admit it. You know why? A lot of times our ego doesn't want to admit that stuff because then it makes us feel ashamed. We'll show him the replay. He's got coworkers that drive him crazy too, right? We all do. We all have people in our lives that drive us nuts until we can step back far enough to say, just like Mother Teresa, remember I used that example where she would say, Jesus, what an interesting face you're showing me today. Wow, Jesus, you've got a really interesting mask on today. This too shall pass. I hurt myself by assigning negative motives to others, right? Because we're all just doing the best we can do with what we know. We really are. You're welcome. Here is a gift wrap box of poop for you today. And you can use that poop for fertilizer. So today's reading is so appropriate. I am surrounded by the love of God. That's not just an intellectual concept. That love is embodied in me and you guys, in the cats, in the furniture. Grow your spiritual tree. Yes. Oh my gosh, you have really added a lot to my little metaphor, my little shitbox metaphor. Thank you. That love is embodied in the people around us that we love and the people around us that we don't love, that we struggle to love. I believe it was Buddha that said you can learn the most from your enemies. The people you love don't really teach you anything because they aren't triggering you. They aren't giving you that information of where you're still hard, where you're still rigid in your heart. I love that too. I really do. So use your little box of shit to grow your spiritual tree. Is that making sense to you guys? It's not easy. Working this stuff on a daily basis is not easy. It requires a pretty significant level of personal responsibility. Tanya, don't be surprised if when you and your husband do recognize what's going on with that coworker, don't be surprised if you have shame about it. You were so resistant to this material, but you love it now. Oh, yay, you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. I was pretty resistant to it, too. I've tried several times. The first time I ran across the Course in Miracles was 1988. I'm afraid of asking the universe to help me do shadow work, as you should be. It takes, but you have us for support, Linda. You don't have to do it alone. If you guys are asking the universe to show you where your little boxes of shit are. Oh, yeah, good. Right. Brene Brown. Exactly, Tanya. That's exactly it. That's why we avoid recognizing others in ourselves. Oh, I'm grateful you're here. Because we don't want to feel the shame. If you guys haven't read any of Brene Brown's work, give it a read because it explains why we avoid this so much. Yeah, we're here to help each other. We're here every single day. So if you guys ask that question and ask to be shown and you have a situation come up that you're having trouble figuring out, I'll admit it's fairly easy for me these days to figure out what the deal is. I've been doing this for years and years and years. Years. I'm old, you guys. I've been doing this for a long time. So if you're just starting to do it and you've encountered a situation, you're like, I can't see where this is me. I can't see where this is my shadow. Bring it to the morning group and let's talk about it. Let's help each other. You're never alone. You're never alone in trying to figure out this hard stuff. We're here. We're all here. There's about a dozen of us here every single day. So don't try to do it by yourself. Practicing what we preach is less obvious than I thought. Yeah, practicing what you preach is a real, it's hard. I've tried ACIM twice over the past 5 years and never got it. Oh, good. I'm glad this practical stuff. I just love when this kind of thinking creeps into my daily life. It's starting to happen more. Yeah, it will happen more. The more you work it. Never thought my lazy coworker would be my teacher. Playing the game of separation. Some play the cowboys, some play the Indians, but we're all the same. All the world's a stage, right? And we are merely players. But we're the stage and we're the players. And that's the hard part. That's the personal responsibility part. That's the guts that I tell you guys all the time. It takes so much guts to do this work. The fact that you're here every day says you guys are some gutsy, courageous people. Because this is not for the faint of heart. This takes a lot of work and it hurts. And you just keep doing it. And it gets easier. So, wow, right? We've had a rough week. We've had such an intense, I think about 10 days of heavy-duty stuff. So, I am surrounded by the love of God. So, you don't beat yourself up either when you're trying to not beat other people up. You have to compassion, loving kindness toward yourself first. Then take a look at it. Meditate and pray and breathe and let your negativity come out and be witnessed. Write it down if you need to. And then say, if you do it too soon, here's what I'll leave you with. If you try to spin it around too soon, you just create more problems. That's a big one, right? You create more problems if you try to turn this process back on yourself too quickly, then it becomes a punishing process. So, I'm going to boil it down, okay? Write this down somewhere. When you recognize this is happening and you're ready to ask that question, what is this about for me? How can I see this differently? God, please show me. Spirit, please show me the information here that I need. Deep breathing. Let yourself have the emotions that you have. I had to go through my anger at this woman and situation first. That didn't take very long because I'm used to it. It might take a long time. It might take a few days. It might take a few weeks to go through the anger. Reacting before examining it is the way of the ego, yes. So once a wave has started, it's impossible almost to stop it. Okay? Hello, beloveds. We're just boiling down the message, but I encourage you to watch the replay because today's been really meaty. Take your deep breaths. Let yourself have the emotions. It's easier to let the emotions flow on through you than to try to squash them. If you squash them, they're going to pop out somewhere else and you're going to see this situation again. Let them have their let them have their day. Let them have their time in the sun. Your negative emotions need to be aired out in the light. Okay, that's part of that shadow. You're bringing it into the light and you're saying, I see you. I see how you would feel this way. Oh yeah, cool. Watch them flow, laugh at them later, deep breathing the whole time. Let yourself have your feelings because those feelings are a part of you too. So you don't want to inadvertently splinter off another piece of yourself through judgment. So you know what? I felt really petty and mean toward her this morning, and I just let myself feel that. And as I was asking the question, and then I forgive myself my judgment of her. She is who she is, and that's that, you know. That's not my business. That's her business. I want to stay in my business. I want to let God have God's business. Okay? Step 1, breathe. Step 2, let yourself have the emotions with compassion. Step 3, find compassion for yourself and your own pain and your own hard spots in your heart. Then say, what's the information here? How can I find compassion for this other person? Where am I doing what she's doing in my life or in my head? Where have I done that to other people in the past? What can I learn from this? You just start asking all those questions. Ask, and the information will come. Okay? Breathe, feel, compassion for yourself, then start spinning it around and asking how it applies to you. Make sense? It's a big one. It's a big one. And it's a lifetime practice. You don't ever... It gets easier. It's pretty quick these days. After you've done it for years, it gets pretty fast. Yeah, but you're human. So don't think that you learn this process and you're done. You'll still go through it. It just gets shorter and shorter and easier. Not less painful. But it does get easier. Cheers to A Course in Miracles. Cheers to all of you for all these beautiful hearts. Clean out that ego with compassion. Clean it out. There was a picture that was shared on Facebook that said, I meditate, do yoga, and still want to slap people. Yeah, right. Yeah, you may still want to slap people. But then you turn it around really quickly and say, what are they doing that I'm doing that makes me want to slap them? It's just information. It's just information from the world. It's not a judgment. It's not a punishment. It's not something being handed to you to make you hurt. It's just information from the world. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for being here every day that you can be. I appreciate the shares and the hearts. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with other people about these things. So, compassion. Everyone is the star of their own movie. Yep, you're the director. You get to choose how it goes. And everything outside of you is just information. Oh, it was meaty. It was meaty like a double sub sandwich. We had some big old meatball sandwich today. Okay. I'll let you know what turns out with the insurance company thing. Chances are I'm just going to go through my Young Living group. Lemon Droppers has a group insurance. I'll probably do that. Which, by the way, I did have to whip out the old lavender oil. That also helped me shift. And this Ula Balance oil. I'll talk about them later this afternoon when I do the mood shifting Young Living oil cast later on today. Probably about 5 or 6 o'clock Eastern time. All right, my lovelies. Thank you so much for your input. This would not be any fun without all of you. Positive Action Call Colorado. Yeah, I have a friend who's looking into that. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I put on a little makeup today. Trying to make an effort. My daughter was like, you're looking a little frumpy lately. I was like, oh my God. I love you. So much love and thanks to you guys too. So, anyway, have a lovely day and have fun examining the coworkers that make you crazy. Yahoo! Have fun with your box of poopy. And thank you, replay viewers. Thank you. Thank you. All right. See you tomorrow. Oh, no. This evening. See you this evening for the Young Living essential oil stuff. Okay.